On Good Day Virginia, polls are open. WFXR News is your local election headquarters with everything you need to know before you cast your vote.
Plus, the ongoing government shutdown continues to cause headaches at the airport. This morning, we'll hear from the Transportation Secretary.
And the government shutdown may impact people's ability to heat their home, how a federal energy assistance program is being impacted. Today, November 4th, this is Good Day Virginia.
WFXR News Good Day Virginia starts right now.
Good Tuesday morning, and thanks for waking up with us here on Good Day Virginia. I'm Brandon Van Sickle.
And I'm Sydney Jax-Timer. Your time right now is 7:01. Now, breaking news this morning, former Vice President Dick Cheney has died. A statement from his family says Cheney died due to complications of pneumonia and cardiac and vascular disease.
Cheney was the vice president under George W. Bush from 2001 to 2009. He was considered the architect of the war on terror and advocated for the war in Iraq. He was also Secretary of Defense under President George H.W. Bush, Congressman from Wyoming, and White House Chief of Staff under President Gerald Ford. Dick Cheney was 84 years old. 7:02 this morning at WFXR News is your local election headquarters, and it is finally the day that candidates across the Commonwealth have been waiting for. It's Election Day.
And polls are now open. WFXR's Zoe Mallory joins us live and tells us more about some local races. Zoe.
Well, good morning, Sydney. Yes, polls have been open across the Commonwealth for about an hour now, and I'm here in Roanoke City, where I've already seen over a couple dozen voters come out today to William Fleming High School. But there are lots of eyes on the Commonwealth this year for the gubernatorial race. On the ballot for that is current Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl-Sears for the Republican side and former Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger on the Democrat side. Now, both candidates have been using the last few days before today's election to gear up more votes. Over the weekend, Spanberger campaigned with former President Barack Obama in Norfolk, while Earl-Sears was in Northern Virginia with current Governor Glenn Youngkin. But why are all eyes on Virginia? Well, our state is only one of 2 gubernatorial elections this year, and analysts tend to use these results to gauge how the public feels about the current president's party. Now, a trend we usually see here is whatever the president's party is, Virginia's governor-elect will be the opposite. In the last 12 gubernatorial elections, 11 of those governors elected have been the opposite party of the president elected. Now, that exception was in 2014 when Democrat Terry McAuliffe was elected after President Obama was reelected. Other statewide elections include lieutenant governor, which is between Democrat Ghazala Hashmi and Republican John Reed, in the race for Attorney General between current incumbent Republican Jason Miyares and Democrat Jay Jones. Now, both of those races have come with a bit of controversy. Early on in his campaign, John Reed was asked to step down by Glenn Youngkin after sexual posts on a social media page were allegedly linked to him. Now, he's since denied these claims. And then there's the texting controversy with Jay Jones, where he suggested former House Speaker Todd Gilbert be shot. Since that surfaced, Republicans have called for Jones to step down. Now, no matter what, this election will be historic as Virginia is electing its first female governor. Now, again, polls are open until 7 p.m. tonight, and if you are in line before 7, make sure you stay in line. And in Virginia, you do need a valid form of ID, or you can cast a provisional ballot. Now, if you want to see more or even interviews with some candidates, you can head on over to our website, WFXRTV.com. In Roanoke, Zoe Mallory, WFXR News. Back to you.
Zoe, thanks. Well, meantime, candidates on this year's ballot used every last second leading up to Election Day sharing their messages. And on the last day of campaigning, some Republican statewide candidates made a final push to voters. Gubernatorial candidate Winsome Earl-Sears, Lieutenant Governor candidate John Reed, and incumbent Attorney General Jason Miyares were joined by Governor Glenn Youngkin, hoping to fire up voters ahead of Election Day. Governor Youngkin telling supporters that turnout will determine the outcome, urging them to get to the polls.
As governor, I knight you as ambassadors of winning, and in that role you have one job, and that is to get 10 friends out to vote. 10 friends.
Democrats were also out in full force, including Lieutenant Governor nominee Ghazala Hashmi, who rallied in Alexandria and in Fairfax, as well as Democratic gubernatorial nominee Abigail Spanberger. The Commonwealth's not the only part of the country getting in on the election action, as key races are happening throughout the nation. Voters are headed to the polls in New York City on Tuesday to elect their next mayor. The race has received national coverage as President Trump has criticized Democratic candidate Zohran Mamdani. Other key races include in New Jersey, where a highly contested governor's race is underway.
It's all about New Jersey. You know, Donald Trump has nothing to do with our property taxes, nothing to do with our monthly electric bills, public safety, public education, overdevelopment.
It's going to be a continued fight against Trump's vision in Washington as he tries to stifle opportunity for people across this country.
Political analysts say that the results will be an early temperature check on President Trump's second term.
With polls now open, here are a couple reminders for people heading out to cast your ballot today. As Virginia law requires voters to either provide an acceptable form of ID, like a driver's license, military or tribal ID, or a passport, or you can vote on a provisional ballot. Now, those who failed to register by the October 24th deadline can still cast a vote on a provisional ballot and will have to go through same-day registration process. Now, if you're running behind getting to the polls, as long as you are in line by 7 o'clock tonight, you're able to cast a ballot. And if you don't have a way to get out to vote today, well, some cities are offering free rides to polling places. In Roanoke, all buses will be fare free today, as Valley Metro is offering free rides so people can cast their vote. Danville Transit will also be offering free rides on their citywide bus service all day today while polls are open. Now, for more information about the candidates or other key races that are important to you, we have all that information on our website. That's at WFXRTV.com. You can click on the Your Local Election Headquarters tab. In Arizona, 2 people are dead after a helicopter with the Department of Public Safety crashed while responding to help officers with an active shooter situation. Now, this happened Wednesday. The pilot and trooper were the only 2 people on board the helicopter. The department will be working with the FAA and NTSB for the crash investigation. Officials say the suspect in that shooting suffered gunshot wounds and was taken into custody. No other injuries were reported.
Your Commonwealth Capital connection this morning as Virginia lawmakers are now unveiling their priorities. Both Democrats and Republicans agree that the next 60 days in Richmond will be about one thing: affordability.
Turning to Rockbridge County, where one person is dead after a vehicle crash. It happened at about 7 o'clock on Friday evening on Route 60 near Reed Hollow Road. The driver was identified as 83-year-old Eugene Wilson. He died at the scene. The vehicle was reportedly traveling west when it ran off the right side of the road and down an embankment and flipped upside down. Officials are continuing to investigate the cause of the crash. Turn to Henry County, where deputies with the Sheriff's Office Animal Services Unit seized 106 dogs from a home that was deemed unsafe and unhealthy. When deputies arrived, they discovered feces consistent with long-term indoor animal activity. The owner voluntarily surrendered all of the animals to the Henry County Sheriff's Office. The Sheriff's Office is consulting with the Henry County Commonwealth's attorney regarding the appropriate course of action and possible charges. This investigation is ongoing.
Lawmakers here in the Commonwealth are reacting to the military action. Senator Tim Kaine, a member of the Senate Armed Services Committee and the ranking member on the Foreign Relations Subcommittee on the Western Hemisphere, Kaine notes that while Maduro is, quote, terrible, he has concerns with President Trump's decision to bypass Congress. Staying in Roanoke County this morning, officers responded to a crash that left 3 people injured. It happened at about 9 o'clock last night at the intersection of Electric Road and Colonial Avenue. That's when a car and a tractor trailer collided. The passengers in the car had to be taken to the hospital while the driver of the tractor trailer was not hurt. The cause of the crash remains under investigation. If you plan on visiting downtown Roanoke this week, you will notice some alternative traffic patterns. That's all due to a construction zone outside of the Center in the Square garage. Crews are working on the exterior wall of the office area near the entrance of the garage, which means that they've closed the main entry lane. However, to keep traffic moving, you can now enter the garage through the current exit lane on Campbell Avenue. The exit lane will now take you to Kirk Avenue. There's going to be clear signage in place for all of the changes.
Now to a traffic alert out of Allegheny County, where drivers traveling east on Interstate 64 can expect delays due to a tractor trailer crash. It's near the mile marker 3.6. Right now, the right lane and right shoulder are closed, We'll keep you up to date on this crash and lane closures on air and online.
Turning to Lynchburg, where a plane had to temporarily divert Thursday morning. This after an indicator light showed an issue in the cargo area. Officials at the Lynchburg Regional Airport confirmed American Airlines Flight 6075 flying to Charlotte from Roanoke had to land shortly after takeoff. After resolving the issue, the plane took off from Lynchburg just after noon and made its way safely to Charlotte without further incident. There were no injuries.
Just into our newsroom this morning, Craig County Public Schools are closed for today due to ongoing plumbing issues. Now, crews are working to fix the issue and expect to have the problem resolved soon. However, tonight's football game against Narrows will still go on as planned. Portable toilets have been ordered and will be available for use during that game.
The town of Vinton rescheduled its annual downtown trick-or-treat event. Due to rain and colder temperatures earlier this week, the event will now be held today. It runs from 3 to 6. And children are encouraged to come in costume, bring a bag or a bucket for their treats. There's also going to be several road closures around 2 o'clock in the afternoon to ensure the safety of all of those who attend. And those are listed right there on your screen. And we're still learning more about a structure fire in Roanoke on Franklin Road Southwest. What road closures drivers may need to know about as they head out the door this morning.
Still to come on Good Day Virginia. Many around the Commonwealth now have to find a new solution for health care. What officials are recommending after Affordable Care Act subsidies expire.
Continuing to follow the aftermath of a cargo plane crash out of Kentucky that killed 13 people. What the NTSB is saying as they investigate the incident. Get started this half hour in Roanoke, where we're working to learn more about a structure fire on Franklin Road. WFXR's Zoe Mowry is at the scene this morning with more about the incident. Zoe.
Well, Brandon, I just finished speaking with the incident commander, and he tells me that the fire is completely out and it was contained to one building here at Piccadilly Square.
Tonight, the Salem Rodeo is back for its 57th year. The Family Fun event begins tonight at 7:30, and it lasts through the entire weekend. WFXR's Zoe Mowry is live at the Salem Civic Center this morning with more. Zoe.
Yeehaw, Brandon. I am here in Salem for the rodeo that's going to be here tonight, and I'm with Lucas. He is the rodeo's trick roper tonight. Now, Lucas, tell me how you got into trick roping. Lucas is going to show us some of his trick roping. I'm going to step off camera so you guys can watch him. Thank you so much, Lucas. Now, you guys can come out tonight and see more of what Lucas does, and he will do even more at the rodeo tonight. They were telling me about something with fire that he does. But if you guys want to come out, tickets are on sale at the Salem Civic ticket booth or online at Ticketmaster.com. They've told me that since the COVID pandemic, they've sold out at least 2 of the 3 shows a weekend. In Salem, Zoe Mowry, WFXR News.
Well, the time has finally come for weather forecasting groundhog to make their predictions. Here's Punxsutawney Phil as people have gathered in that small town of Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania to catch the festivities. And he is making his appearance now. Let's listen in.
There is a shadow here on my ground. 6 more weeks of winter abound.
Well, Punxsutawney Phil has spoken, and he's predicting 6 more weeks of winter. Yeah, us in the studio over here, we're not too happy about it. Well, all month long, we are honoring and celebrating Black History Month, and this year marks a significant milestone, the 100th anniversary of Black History Month. John Mueller tells us about the man who started it all.
The kit has everything you need from the pre-made dough to the cinnamon and the sugar, with the managers saying they wanted to create some things family could make new memories with and make it easy. So I decided to get my hands dirty in the kitchen to see exactly how the kits work. You can pre-order them online and then pick them up every Saturday until February 7th. Now, I have a special treat for you guys. I saved you both 2 slices of the king cake that I made. So please, take a bite.
And
Sydney-
I was the lucky winner. I got the baby.
So basically the history with it is if you get the baby, or it used to be a bean or a coin before, plastic babies were a thing, it was good luck. So you had good luck for the rest of the year. And also now you have to make the king cake next year, Sydney.
Oh man, that's luck and responsibility.
Yeah, luck and responsibility.
But they make it so easy for you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Just go get one of these kits. They're gonna see kind of how it works with this year and decide if they'll do it again next year. But if not, they still do just sell regular king cakes that you can just go buy and you could tell us that you made it.
Yeah, perfect. Just transfer it onto a homemade plate and be like, hey guys. Yeah, awesome. And you can still go out and buy them now.
Yep,
They're still
just
available.
pre-order them on there. You can go to their Facebook, find it right there, and you can pick them up every Saturday until February.
Alrighty, thanks Zoe. Delicious, great job.
The Handmaid's Tale gets a sequel as America's next top model heads under the microscope. We're taking a look at all of that and more with Fox's Ashley Dvorkin in today's Hollywood Nation. Welcome back. Well, the countdown to Christmas is on. We are 36 days away from the big day, and many of us are planning Christmas vacations and buying the perfect gifts for our loved ones to get into the holiday spirit.
And our friends at Dollywood are doing the same. Dollywood's Smoky Mountain Christmas is now open and runs through the new year. And here with us now is good friend of the show, Ellen Liston with Dollywood. Thanks for stopping by this morning.
It's great to be here. That 36 days, didn't realize it was that close.
Crazy.
But, we've been ready for a couple of weeks. Dolly says once Halloween is over, we're going to roll right into Christmas. So 6 million lights, shows, food. We have got everything you need to not only plan that perfect vacation, but start making some great Christmas traditions for the future.
Yeah, and speaking about traditions, you guys have been hosting the Smoky Mountain Christmas Festival for what, how many years? 15 years now?
Yeah.
Over 15 years, but 15 years it's been ranked.
Yeah, so about 15 years ago, the Golden Tickets, which are kind of our Oscars of the theme park industry, really worldwide, said, let's recognize Best Holiday Festival. We won it that first year. We won it all 15 years following. They actually decided to kind of retire it and said, hey, it's the gold standard for Christmas events. But Smoky Mountain Christmas is actually celebrating an anniversary. Dollywood's 40 years old this year. 35 years of Smoky Mountain Christmas, helping people make some great holiday memories.
Yeah.
And talk to us about, of course, the lights, right? That's the big draw, is to be able to see Christmas lit up at Dollywood.
So 6 million lights, and it's not all just white lights or maybe some colored lights. I think that's what people love about the variety of what they see in terms of all those twinkling and sparkling lights. We've got different things in different areas. You're seeing a little bit of the lights in the Dolly Parton experience, which of course is all decked out in pink. I think other than Dolly's special pink and silver and gold tree, one of my favorite areas is Peppermint Valley, where, as you can imagine, all red and white lights, everything dressed up like a peppermint stick.
Love that. Now, is there anything new this year at Dollywood for Smoky Mountain Christmas? I'm sure there is.
So there's different light areas that you can experience. Okay. So each area kind of has a different feel. You're going to have to kind of figure out which one is your favorite. But the other things that you do not want to miss, take a ride on the Dollywood Express train. There's nothing quite like it, especially once it's gotten dark. It's a little chilly. You can take some hot cocoa on there with you, maybe a s'more or a funnel cake. Then after you do that, go see one of the great shows. There's nothing quite like that great Christmas music to put you in the spirit, whether you like carols or you like more contemporary sounds. And I love to see it snow every night, just kind of the beauty of a night sky, getting ready for the holidays, waiting for Christmas. Nothing says it quite like snow, and then for a little extra sparkle on Fridays and Saturdays, see some fireworks at the end of the night. So much to see and do.
Yeah,
and truly lit up this time of year.
Yeah.
All right, so if people are booking their next trip, how do they do it?
Easiest way is go to Dollywood.com, because you can do anything you want to add on at that, or if you need a little extra help and are like, I just can't navigate this during the season, 800 Dollywood, one of our elves will help you.
Oh, one of our elves. Love it. Awesome. Well, Ellen, thank you so much for stopping by.
It's always great to be here.
Yes, absolutely. And we'll definitely have to go and check out Smoky Mountain Christmas at Dollywood.
Yeah, and have some s'mores.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kara, maybe we can help make it snow out there at Dollywood, but not too soon.
We don't need it yet.
Yeah.